How do everybody? Well, what a gripping day it's been today. There is a continuation in the saga of the rape gang scandal, which has been gripping the United Kingdom for at least 50 years from when it was, well, which is the oldest date from when I've been able to find anyway, of when it's first reported. We have now been seeing tech billionaires in the United States becoming incredibly vociferous over this subject. Now, some people may think that this is just a flash in the pan moment where they're sort of like a cat chasing a laser dot on the floor and they'll easily get distracted by the next thing to come along. I do disagree with this myself, especially with the case of the individual Bill Ackman, who is quite a prominent investment tech CEO himself. This isn't a young man. Like you could say with Elon Musk that maybe it's his autistic tendencies that he jumps from one thing to another. Although I do think even if he does flit away, he will soon come back to this again. Bill Ackman's a much older gentleman and he's much more laser focused on things in himself. And it's been quite interesting to see him actually discovering what has been going on with this. I've been watching him from about a week ago when it appears that he's first become aware of the grooming gang scandal. And he was at first in very full denial, but he very, very quickly adapted and changed his opinion on it as information was flooded to his way. And he hasn't just ignored it, he has actually been absorbing that information and looking at it. And it's crazy to see this man in such a prominent position basically being just so flabbergasted by the state of the United Kingdom. Now, let's not forget that these people like Bill Ackman and Elon Musk do have the ear of the incumbent president, Donald Trump, who will be coming in. And Donald Trump is not a kind man when it comes to things like this. He will not look kindly on the United Kingdom for covering up these crimes for 50 years. And I do believe that there will be a lot of pressure getting put on the United Kingdom government and possibly even the King himself. Now, I saw today as well that Elon Musk has actually agreed with somebody who stated, should King Charles III dissolve Parliament? I myself do agree that should be a serious consideration of the King at this point. Parliament should potentially be dissolved. And I do think that maybe not even a general election getting called, possibly even as far as going into absolute monarchy for a short period of time until he can get a grip of this situation involving children being raped. Sorry about that. Another point as well, which has incredibly shocked people, Elon Musk has stated that Jess Phillips has been in full, I can't remember the exact wording, but has been basically in damage control or damage limitation of genocidal rape gangs, I believe was the term he used. I agree with that. I do believe that what has been happening in our country does tick off warning signs for potential genocide. When the government and the police and social services, councils, schools, professional doctors, lawyers, sitting politicians are covering up industrial scale rape, murder, trafficking, pimping, branding, drugging, beating, turning into kebab meat of young children on an industrial scale. That to me is a warning sign of a potential genocide inbound. And I think if you were to take that to The Hague, it would actually pass that bar of a test. This is incredibly warning. Now, Jess Phillips, being the Minister for Safeguarding, you cannot make this up, has actually turned down an application by Oldham Council for the government to investigate Oldham itself and the police force. They were asking for a parliamentary investigation into the grooming as they feel it is too much for them to deal with. Labour have turned around and said, no, you can do it yourself, just like Rotherham have, just like Rochdale have, and just like other places have. Well, I will turn around and say those places have not dealt with those crimes. In fact, what they've done is they've engaged in campaigns of burying the crimes, and they have held a single person to account yet. This is shocking stuff. And it is not going to bode well for Labour in the future. I cannot see this going away. I will link you to Bill Ackman's page and Elon Musk's page below on the Twitter. I'd heavily do suggest reading Bill Ackman's. The way that the man is at, you can just see it in his writing that this is going to be a long-term interest of his. I don't think he's going to be letting this go. People as well who think that Americans, this isn't a big thing. And most Americans are not interested in world politics. They just aren't. They're interested in America and American politics. That's how it should be. That's not a criticism, and we should be like that as well. So when they are taking interest in foreign politics, like this grooming gang scandal, it's because it is so grotesquely disgusting that you can't help but not notice it. I genuinely believe that this is akin to like the Sarajevo massacres that were happening in Kosovo in the 1990s by Slobodan Milosevic. This is like the comparable to the Tutsis massacring. I can't remember the name of the other tribe in Africa. You know, this is literally that world level of shaking news. The level of corruption that has happened with this and rape. It is horrifically bad. And as I say, this is not going to go away. What a start to 2025. I cannot see Labour carry on for much longer. I'm genuinely believing that we are seeing the end of Labour already, possibly even the end of British parliamentary system. Now, that may be a slight exaggeration. I could be over egging the pudding there, but I would not be surprised if the monarch was to dissolve Parliament. Thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.